do it. The Meg.
The Meg.
Straight from cinemas to Who Would Watch
The Trench. A lot of people are saying Barbie and Oppenheimer are the savior of cinema. Guess what?
It's the Meg 2.
It's the Meg 2. They were just the pre-round to really what's going to bring cinema back, you know? Everyone's been saying it's trending on Twitter. Barb and Megging.
Oh my god, so many people having their little like
Meg party,
parties,
dressing up as
like
a little shark, dressing up as Jason Statham.
And people mass shaving their heads to go to the cinema.
You can both be aerodynamic and Jason Statham. It's great marketing, okay?
Oh my god, this is the time to be alive.
My name's Oscar.
My name's Carl.
And
this is Who Would Watch This. I heard Martin Scorsese loved this movie.
He was like, I know I said that thing about theme parks, but guess what? Sometimes a roller coaster's fun.
He said this is
Sometimes it's better than cinema.
He said this is an event. This isn't even a roller coaster. This is just a religious experience, and I would know I made silence.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast. We watch a film, chat about the film, and try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we are talking about the Meg 2, The Trench, based on a book. Would you fucking believe it?
I couldn't believe it.
Currently has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 28%, a Letterboxd rating of a 2.3, and an IMDb rating of a 5.5. Oscar, what's the plot?
A research team encounters multiple threats, remember that, while exploring the depths of the ocean, including a malevolent mining operation. Ooh, someone had a thesaurus handy.
Somebody was like, how do I make this elevated horror? Oh, Oscar. Look at us.
Look at us.
At the cinema again?
Oh.
When was the last time we did a cinema release? Black Adam?
I think I Black Adam.
Huge. I mean, I hope we're doing another one soon. We're looking at you, Poirot.
Oh, we do have to do all those three. I love those things.
I know.
Death on the Nile. That meme of the champagne thing.
Oh, huge.
But the whole film is like that. It's
I haven't
crazy.
seen Death on the Nile, so I've seen Murder on the Orient Express, which isn't that bad, but we'll probably just do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I know Death on the Nile is meant to be crap,
Oh,
right?
it's odd. It's such an odd film, and it's like so many like. He was like, "I'll get all the worst actors, then I'll feel great," and they all like cancel 8 people. Great stuff, huh? The mystery's bad. Oh, I can't wait to chat about it. But today we're chatting about the Meg 2. We just saw it in cinemas. We ran back home. Didn't take notes. It's gonna be kind of manic, you know?
We heard people love when we go to the cinema, and they love that we don't take notes and thus very much jump around the plot, because especially when a plot is like this confusing and just nonsensical, there's no structure for us to talk about it. It's also fun for us to try and remember the chronological order of these events.
It's also fun as well because most of the movies, including like Black Adam, and Morbius, it just the second you leave a cinema, it starts leaving your brain. I feel like when you take notes, I mean, like school taught us this, you do retain more information. This is leaving my brain as we're going.
Absolutely. Jason Statham's trying to crawl out of my freaking ear right now. He doesn't even want me to remember he was in this.
There's like a little thumb coming out your ear. It's adorable.
He's like, I'll work my way back in when you watch Expendables 4, but for now I'm leaving. Oscar, shall we go back in time to before we had seen The Meg to The Trench? It's actually a bad title. Does not roll well.
There's a trench.
The Meg 2, The Trench. It's too many Th's. It should just be called Meg 2, Trench.
Oh, powerful.
Huh? Drop the Th's.
Go back in time, huh? Maybe we
yeah.
thought
Okay,
different.
let's go back. Maybe we'll think the same. Who knows?
Carl, we're venturing out to the cinema next week to see The Meg 2.
If we can find a fucking
I
session.
can't believe it. That we can't. I put a bad bet on. I said this is going to make the most money, and then Barbie and Oppenheimer, very good films came out and made a lot of money. It's like, don't people know I'm trying to make money off this? It's cruel.
You should have just invested in either Warner Brothers or Universal. I don't know.
Immediately cross the picket line. Just like come into the right strike. Like, there's some money to be made here.
It must be just like, I mean, it feels like there's like a lot of bad movies that have been coming out over the course of like this like American summer schedule in terms of like Haunted Mansion and The Meg 2 does not have good reviews. What? So it's like some of these writers must be like, I'm glad I don't have to promote that. Or something. It's like not a slight against
Jason
him.
Statham, like, whew, thank Jesus.
Oscar, what do you reckon?
I don't know. We just recently saw The Meg, and
I know we did it recently. I don't remember.
I don't remember it at all. I don't really know how you elevate. I mean, like, I feel like Jaws is like a big shark movie, and everyone knows the sequels are bad. Whereas this one started bad, so I don't know where. Maybe it can go good. I hope it goes goofier.
I mean,
that's my only hope.
I like the trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer looks more bombastic.
Yeah.
Like more they know what worked about the first one.
Yes.
So I'd love for it to live up to what the trailer's selling me. The other positive that I'm thinking is they have got I think it's Ben Wheatley as the director. So you got like this little indie darling director. So I'm interested to see what he does.
It's just Jason Statham just kind of looking out to the ocean. The Meg never shows, but it's like kind of waiting for Godot, but waiting for the Meg.
The shark is masculinity. Toxic masculinity.
God, A24 couldn't get their hands on it faster.
This was a fucking big script.
The
Trench.
Yeah.
Oh, huge. The have you seen any Ben Wheatley films? He did he did what? Free Fire, High Rise, Kill List. Kill List I watched recently. It's quite good.
No, I haven't seen anything.
Haven't seen any of these. He also did a pretty poor remake of Rebecca for Netflix.
Ah, damn. But hey, throw him a bone, huh? You can't remake.
Throw him some chum.
You can't remake Alfred Hitchcock. It's never worked well.
No, it's never. Yeah.
Except Vince Vaughn, he nailed it.
He did. What was he? Psycho?
Psycho, I think.
Yeah, he should have been the Lady Vanishes.
Powerful.
Him as the train.
He should have been the rope. Oh, Vince Vaughn is a piece of rope. I'd watch that for 48
He
minutes.
should.
Uncut.
He should have been the rear.
Owen Wilson is the window.
Oh! I love that.
It's a
From the
buddy cop
makers of Dodgeball.
Rear and window.
Rear v window.
Carl, who do you think's gonna watch the Meg 2? I guess no one, because there's no cinema sessions.
Oh yeah, I don't know who they're doing it for. I think it's too late. I think they've left it too long. When was the first one?
5 years. I think it's 5 years ago.
So long. I guess COVID probably stalled it, but this sequel needed to be out within like a 2 to 3 years span.
I'd say 4 weeks. You left my brain.
Should have come out. They should have just re-released it in cinemas. People would have forgotten it existed.
I think they would have forgotten. Just like it's Meg 2. I think I remember this, but anyway,
it's vague. It's hazy. I would love for it to be for me. Like, I did not like the Meg, but I do like Ben Wheatley, and he does do like more horror, gory movies. I think he did Sightseers as well. Have you seen Sightseers?
No.
I cannot remember. I think he did that. But yeah, and I feel like the trailer looks like it has already more kills in it than
the first one.
The first one. It had very few kills.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's like you've got somebody that like can direct. I'm hoping he can just like turn the knife a little bit, try and fucking give some more excitement
Yes, exactly.
to this, because the first one's dull.
Yeah.
It does not know if it's a horror film, a shark movie, or a blockbuster, because it's spent so much fucking money on it. So yeah, I would love for it to be for me. Oscar, who do you think it would be for?
I guess if Meg 2, I guess there's not many movies about trench, it's trench warfare, but not really a lot about I feel like the Mariana Trench deserves like a,
Is this one set in the Mariana Trench?
I don't know.
How many trenches are there? There are a lot of trenches.
There's one. There's Mariana Trench. Name another one.
What's San Andreas? Is that a fault line?
That's a Grand Theft Auto game.
My mistake.
I guess big trench heads out there, You don't. Yeah, we're nailing this. Who did you say? I'll take that. You can say something
Me.
else. Yeah. I hope Carl
for
likes.
you.
I hope Carl likes this one. He needs a win.
I do. I'll be pretty. We have to go out of our fucking way to see it. It's not like it's playing in the cinema around the corner. They're just like, no, it's just Barbie and Oppenheimer for years.
It is crazy that like everyone can't get a seat to Barbie and Oppenheimer, and we're like, oh, where is the Meg?
I've already seen those two. Where are the tickets to the Meg?
I need new content. I'm bored now.
I know. Let's go fucking protest. Let's protest some of these cinemas. More Meg 70mm.
Carl, do we just get straight into this? I'm going to say right now, calling it now. I probably lost my $100 bet, but I'm going to double down on another bet. This Oscar-nominated adapted screenplay. We found out this was based on a book So,
Oh, have you not read this?
I've not read the
Well, you
Meg,
know-
the two trench book.
Were you not asked to read this in school?
It parallels great with Shakespeare. You know, it's
Oh,
really good.
It's actually
Midsummer Night's
crazy.
Dream and this same plot.
It's sold in this little package. It's Catcher in the Rye and the Meg 2. It's a really good little package.
It's a double book feature, like a DVD.
You don't know where one ends and the other begins, and you're like, I guess innocence was lost, and we're in the Mariana Trench. All right, let's do it.
You know, if John Lennon.
Imagine if John Lennon was shot for the Meg 2.
Oh yeah,
Like-
he read the Meg too. Like, God, that John Lennon prick. I swear to God, he's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
God, let's just jump straight into the Meg 2. We're in the Cretacean period.
I know this was the trailer, and this is what sold me.
Yeah.
So when it's only a minute,
It's an odd minute because it's like, hey, here's some dinosaurs, okay? And here's the Meg, and it can eat a
Yeah.
T-Rex.
it's like some of these creatures are going to come back
Yeah.
as well, but they do this thing with the Meg like jumping up and eating a T-Rex, and they have to cut away so quickly. I assume maybe because of violence.
It's an odd. I feel like it's not PG. It might be M, but I
think
don't
it's
know.
M.
There's no blood.
No, there's no blood, but they have to cut away, and I think they have to cut away so quickly, and it just sort of ruins the scene, I think. But they have to cut away so quickly because they can't explain how that shark then gets back into the water.
Oh yeah, no. Suddenly your main villain sort of
It's beached.
Oh, it's beached. Like, oh God, the crabs are gonna gnaw at me.
Yeah, it's
The mighty crab is really the villain.
I would love it because it starts with a bug, and it's like a bird, and then the bird's eaten by these things,
Yeah.
and then those things are eaten by the T-Rex, and the T-Rex is eaten by the Meg, and
Yeah.
then the Meg should just be eaten by little crabs.
Oh yeah, that'd be it. And really, and then in the rest of the movie, like, oh my God, the crabs are broken through the trench.
That'd be such a in the first one where they were like, we've killed the Meg, right? And there was a second Meg. I'd love it if they were like, we killed the Meg. No, but the little crabs are what we're scared
Now
of.
they're building an ecosystem down there for eating the Meg. It's an absolute, oh God, this is really a horror. If you step on the sand, I mean, if you just swim a little bit up, you're fine. But if you put your feet on the sand at the bottom of the ocean, you're done.
You get nibbled.
Yeah.
Huh? You get nibbled.
Yeah, if you don't have I don't know, kind of strong boots, you're gone.
But if you got strong boots, you're fine.
You're fine.
You're fine. Again, the threat is minor.
We then cut to present day.
Have they done this? Because to say it right now, this movie's Megless.
Oh, it is. I mean, here's the thing. It's Megless. However, I do remember in the last Meg, I said if the Meg 2 has 2 Megs, I'll be happy. When there's 3 fucking Megs, I'm over the moon.
It was a lot of Megs.
But there wasn't that many.
But they were coy.
Yeah,
they were coy with their Megs.
Yeah.
It was mostly Finn.
Yeah.
You don't come to the Meg 2 the trench for
No,
Finn
no, no,
action.
most of it's just a PR nightmare, and that's really that's most of the movie. I couldn't believe it.
I know. A PR nightmare that she started.
Yeah.
She's like, somebody's got to put out all these little fires, and it's like, you started the little fires.
You've got a matchbook. Stop it.
Stop lighting little fires
Well,
then.
let's just establish Jason Statham is on.
Jonas.
He's Jonas. I don't remember him being called Jonas, but he is.
He didn't have a name in the first
No,
one.
it
We
was Jason-
discussed
it was
this.
Jason Statham.
He was nameless. It was Jason Statham as Jason Statham.
He's on a cargo boat, and some guys are dropping nuclear waste into the ocean.
He's an eco-terrorist
I
now?
get it's a bit of a rewrite that he's like, all right, now they're, I don't know what their operation, they were like researchers, and now they're kind of like Greenpeace, but with like $1 billion.
He can fight now. I don't think he fought in the first one because he was just
a drunk.
a diver.
Yeah.
So now
they're all like pretty much like Tom Cruise. They're pretty much Avengers, but for like killing the Meg,
Parkour.
and they're pretty shit at that too.
I just think it's so funny that like these people that are just dumping some nuclear waste all know how to fight in parkour too.
Yeah.
And like, wouldn't they just also be, like if I'm low on money, I jump onto help a cargo thing.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, it would be me, and they'd be like, "Go! You need to stop Jason Statham, otherwise he'll get us in trouble." And I'd be like, "Why would we be in trouble? Is this not a legal thing we're doing?"
Also, I feel like, if your skills are like dropping barrels of nuclear waste is pretty like, I don't know, casual skill. I feel like Taekwondo, but you can get better job prospects.
Absolutely. I could roll a barrel pretty well into the ocean.
Yeah.
But, Taekwondo, it's not for me.
No.
So.
So he's like taking pictures. They're like, "What you gonna do?" Jumps off the boat. They're like, we've got some returning characters and not returning characters, but they're telling us they're recurring
They're
characters.
gaslighting us.
Yeah.
We just spent 5 minutes looking through any of these returning characters apart from that one guy.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
No.
They're not returning characters.
No, but
they're gaslighting us.
They are. They're like, remember when we did this 4 years ago? I'm like, maybe.
It's like they knew you wouldn't remember.
No.
They're like,
You know damn well you remember Jason Statham, the New Zealand guy, and maybe like the DJ guy.
Yeah. I was like, I guess all these people were there.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the first one, they're cheesing having a whiskey. There's more of them than I anticipated being.
Yeah.
So
they kind of like, I guess they're in the background. I can't remember. They again, I don't know what this industry is, but they have a plane. They scoop up Jason Statham in water and pick him up and then take off again with the plane, and they get away with the evidence.
It's wild because they cut to the plane opening and Jason Statham just is spewed out with water.
Oh, yeah.
So he was just rattling around in the water at the bottom of a plane for hours till they landed.
His hands so clammy. I don't think films really take advantage of the clamminess of hands.
It's weird they don't just. It's not just a seaplane, and he just hops up and inside.
Yeah.
It's weird they scoop him.
Yeah. It seems like a really expensive choice.
It's counterproductive in my opinion.
What is because okay, we thought in the last one they're like, okay, surely they're making their money by like evil mining, and apparently they're still not doing that. They're still just looking under the trench, and then the villains turns out to be the miners who have the money. So I don't know how this facility, because they've got like I don't know, like $1 trillion enclosure to capture one of the Megs. They've captured one of the Megs. I don't know where the money's coming from.
No, neither. I don't know who's funding. I mean, they're looking at, yeah. So I don't know who's. Well, let's just jump ahead.
Yes.
They go to this ball that is
Yes.
maybe a fundraiser. I don't know. We find out they've killed off the lead from the last movie.
Yes.
And so she's dead. Jason Statham's love interest, dead. Now he's like the guardian of the little girl from the last movie. And now they've got that little girl's uncle.
Yes.
All of a sudden, who was not in the first movie.
No, but they say we always used to talk about you, Uncle. They didn't in the first.
They didn't.
No.
Nobody fucking mentioned you in a heartbeat. In fact, your dad died in the last movie, and yet you were never even included in his like.
No.
He was like, "Don't cry for me, my only child," and like wiped her tear away. And now they're like, "There were two.
Yeah.
There were two children."
They just WhatsApps each other like, "Hey, Dad's dead."
Oh, yucky. I had so much I didn't want to say.
But yeah, he's kind of like the tech billionaire kind of guy.
So I think the money's coming from him.
Well, it's coming from him and his partner, who is also like, it seems like they've like had like a merger essentially, and one has like money and one's like research, and the guy is the research guy and the other girl's the money. She's the money. So it kind of makes sense how they have money. It's crazy how much they've spent on this.
Yes, which is
Billions, trillions.
it's like they've got like a building, a facility down at the bottom of the ocean.
That's not even that's a hidden cost. This is just I'm talking about just the enclosure for the Meg.
Oh, I forgot all about this.
Yeah.
That's right. They own a Meg.
Yeah.
This guy's like, I had this Meg since birth.
Yeah.
And it's like, but isn't the Meg really fucking old?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you just find a baby Megalodon.
No, I don't know how he's kind of like training it. They're kind of establishing like I've got a connection to it, but it doesn't really. It's I don't know what they're doing here because essentially they're like, all right, we've got a Megs. Let's go underneath the thermal layer to the trench to find some more Megs. Surely they're kind of done with these Megs.
I just wouldn't keep looking for Megs.
No.
You know it hasn't resulted in good stuff. People died last time.
Yeah.
Stop fucking
Each
stop
time
fucking
you
around
found
with
a Meg,
Megs.
you've killed the Megs.
Yeah. I thought in the last movie the Meg they stumbled upon
Yes.
or accidentally freed when they were drilling.
Accidentally freed, yes.
Yeah. So I don't understand. Were they just like, because it seems like there's just a shit ton of them
Yeah.
just chilling down
Just chilling down there. They're stuck under a thermal layer.
So I don't, but they all were aware. So it makes you think that the other Meg wasn't that.
No,
Important.
No. The Meg was just a school of Megs, and it was
Yeah.
just one of them that floated up.
Yeah, it's like none
Barely
of
a
these Megs are
threat.
that important.
No.
So I'm just like, oh, you sort of like undercut all your little Megs, all your little Megalodons.
Yeah.
So
And they don't say Megalodon
once,
Oh,
not once.
Honestly, 1 star for that, huh?
Yeah, Pff, 0. I wouldn't recommend going.
Pretty much, they're like, well, let's just keep looking at Megs, huh?
Yeah.
So we've got Jason Statham. We've got...
Don't you dare try and name
I'm
them.
not going to name them. We've got 3 characters that I'm not going to give a name. They're going to die soon. We'll tell you when they're back. We've also got... we've got the little girl, and we've also got the tech billionaire guy, and we've also got another woman who we both thought was died, but then she was back.
Yeah.
And they keep telling us she was in the first movie.
She's
wasn't.
not.
Yeah.
We're being gaslit.
Yeah.
They're like, don't you remember all of these memories? And it's like, no, Ruby Rose was in that first film. Not
As
her.
Jax. Remember Jax?
Where's Jax? Why isn't Jax coming back? Justice for Jax. Yeah, so they head down.
Yeah.
As like the little girl has the biggest death wish I've seen. She's always just like, I'm a scientist.
Yeah.
And Jason's like, you're 14.
She's like, I know my stuff.
Yeah.
She
doesn't. She's an idiot.
Her arc is pretty much like, I guess, learning to listen to Jason Statham, but then also not.
Learning to ignore him
Yeah.
for the right reasons.
Yes. And he doesn't tell her the right reasons.
No.
But he's just
He
like,
says, you got to learn that on your own.
yeah.
And it turns out it's helping people. Either way, when things go awry, it seems like she's just fucking stealing oxygen.
Okay, so they're down looking for stuff, and they're like, hey, there's a building down there. Shouldn't be there. That's the trench. Probably cost trillions of dollars. How have we never seen that before?
Who's built that? We've got these people, they're upstairs, they're watching on. You've got
Yeah.
2 people from the first movie they're watching on. You've got this, I don't know, what's her character's name? She's like the hacker.
She is Jess.
So you've got Jess, who's the hacker.
Yeah.
She's watching over the entire exposition.
We got DJ, the guy from the last one, and the New Zealand guy from
Yeah.
the last one.
You've got... There's a real Fast and Furious energy to this movie where you've got like...
It's a Fast and Furious energy, but like in the 8th one where they've already established a bunch of characters, like, ugh, we can't get rid of you. They've done that like 2 movies in, and they've only really got like their Vin Diesel, and then they got like a lot of, I don't know, ludicrouses.
Yeah,
like,
so many ludicrouses. It's not an even-handed amount of ludicrouses.
It's one Vin Diesel to like 12 ludicrouses.
You don't need that many
And they're
ludies.
expendable. The movie does at least acknowledge that they are expendable.
Oh, absolutely. At least this movie has like a higher kill count.
Yes.
Like they're willing to kill off
Yes.
like who they introduce.
Yeah.
But so you've got Jess is watching over. She's doing this full thing. She's trying to discourage what's going on. We then cut to a whole new submarine where there is a man, Montes. Yeah. We cut to a whole new submarine. Montes is there. There's 2 people just, I don't know, putting bombs on
They're
things.
mining stuff, and
Yeah.
I applaud them because, quite frankly, I don't know what they're doing here, but they need to make some money.
Yeah.
And so far, there's some rocks down here that are worth like $1 billion per rock.
Yeah, it's like unobtainium. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Montes is just like, okay, I'll quickly kill these people. Huge explosion. It opens up. I was confused. There's a regular explosion and then there's a blue explosion. Is the blue explosion below or above where they are?
I don't really know science, but I'll try and explain it. There's a bomb underground he's blown up. That's then blown up the thermal layer, made a hole. So I don't know how that works or how that can even happen.
Yeah.
But there's now a hole in the, I don't know.
Thermal layer of the ocean?
Thermal layer of the ocean. I can't tell if it's cold or hot.
Yeah.
But Megs can't get through it. It's like a
but
force field.
Squids can.
Squid can, yeah.
I mean, we won't pretend to know what is accurate and inaccurate for this film.
That's the thing. It's underwater stuff. We don't know much about that.
Yeah, they're just like, people are getting quip smart about space. Let's venture into the water more. People can't question that.
They're really like, like I feel like everyone knows, like, hey, if you slow down time, we all saw Interstellar.
Yeah.
Under the ocean, we've only got Avatar, you know? And quite frankly, I think you can swim under
We
there.
got the abyss. That's all we've got. The abyss. Yeah, so everything goes wrong. They get trapped.
Yes.
They try to rescue them. It turns out somebody sabotaged the rescue boats.
Damn.
Jason Statham comes up with an idea. They're going to walk
Yeah.
from their shipwrecked submarine across the ocean trench to the facility that's
Yes, the
underwater.
secret facility.
Yeah.
It's a lot of walking. I feel like they show the Megs, but then they're like, you probably don't want to see the Megs. We've got some other stuff going on. it's very we're lacking a Megs.
They're like, don't you enjoy Lance?
Oh yeah.
Let's give you a lot of Lance.
Remember those 3 characters I didn't give you a name for? They all die in fun ways.
Remember Curtis, Sal, and Lance?
Ah, fond memories of
all
them.
picked off here.
Yeah.
I would say I think the best part of the movie is in this sequence. I do think Curtis's like helmet implosion is a great moment.
Yes,
like
she gets cracked in the head.
Yeah.
Like the pressure's building. They're about to get inside. They're like, I don't
they've
think I can
almost
make
made it. They just need to decompress.
Yeah,
like
and then her head explodes.
Yeah, and it's a cool like implosion as well
Yes.
of the glass and stuff. It looks good, and it's a good like sound as well. That's I think highlight of the movie was that little moment.
Oh, 100%. It also then ruins it because I think, again, we're not scientists, but pressure is a thing.
Yeah.
And there's a scene a bit later that I don't know how it works, but we'll get into it.
So this is where I'm like, okay, so this is what I think Ben Wheatley brings.
Yes.
Occasionally they're letting him do
a thing.
Yeah. And I don't think it really suits the movie, but it is some of the better parts of the movie. But he's obviously still got to please some producers who invested $130 million into the movie. So there's just nice little pockets of occasional violence that I enjoy. But other than that, it's like, it's all very stale.
It's odd now because like I feel like the Meg first one, it's like, hey, we got a shark. That's the villain. This one, they're like, we've got 8 villains. We've got a couple of Megs.
Yeah.
We've got some little Megs.
Yeah.
We've got an octopus.
Yeah.
We've got
human villains.
We've got human villain who's like the henchman Montees.
Yeah.
He's down here mining shit.
Yeah.
We've also got the big bad villain who's funding the whole thing. We've also got Jess. Who's
She's
also
an interim villain.
Yeah. We've also got a bunch of goons.
Yeah. So many goons.
Yeah.
There's just like
really the Meg's like a 3rd tier villain.
Yeah. They've definitely done like a thing where they've gone, what if... I think the other thing that brings down the movie is the marketing of this movie was, look at this explosive and fun, like, shark-eating adventure. Come and enjoy it again, you know? But the whole middle of the movie's a fairly self-serious survival thriller where people are just slowly picked off one by one. So it's not as, like... It's just not Meg-ish.
No.
But I can understand that's probably where Ben Wheatley cared the most.
Oh, yeah, no,
is
100%.
this section.
The second they resurface, they're like, we've got a lot to capture. That was a bland, boring, sad, depressing movie. We've got an A24 movie down here. We've got fucking the Meg fucking on coke up here. Okay?
Because there's another sequence that I do like, which is Jess reveals herself as the villain.
Yes.
She's like, hey, they're like, don't you care? You killed all of our friends. And she's like, but the money.
Oh, there's so much money.
There's so much money. I love people that are that corrupted by... I just don't think they... In terms of being a regular computer person and somebody being like, you want to kill most of the people in this room, but I'll give you a load of money for it? I think a lot of people would be like, But people are just so greedy in some of these movies.
But it's so much fun. I love it. Just like, you know what? $10 billion? I'll kill my closest friends. We're in the Meg 1 together. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. We were definitely there, okay?
Which she was like, I saw it all unfold.
Yeah.
Don't fact check
What
that.
are they paying these people? Because, again, the facility looks fantastic.
Billions with a B.
They keep saying... Billions pops up like in the money, in like the budgets, in like a lot of like years ago.
Billions is the most said word.
Yeah.
It's like they thought maybe the show Billions was still a hit, so that if this movie was ever clipped, it would trend on TikTok.
What niche advertising? We're just like, we're gonna get some synergy with Billions.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good crossover for us.
Somebody in the background's like, Succession. It's Succession they care about. Billions. Axe is back.
We've got a lot of Dexter promos. Can we add those together? Don't even fucking bother. Don't even fucking bother. Who's going to watch that?
iCarly's back. Oh my god, how many iCarlys did this facility cost?
We've got a Meg 2 Sons of Anarchy sort of crossover. It's kind of our Barbenheimer, but just Sons of Anarchy and Meg 2.
Sons of Anarchy with an S? Yeah, so we get Jess reveals herself as a villain.
Yes.
This is another little bit that I enjoyed. I liked her. She's like, kill each other.
Yes.
And you guys can come to the top, and she's slowly like eliminating some submarines. It's, I don't know, 90 seconds of the film. I liked that moment.
Yeah.
I'll claw at some things.
Oh, you're clawing at things.
I'll claw at some things.
Is it odd because like they never commit fully to that, so then you're still like, and then they never really fully commit to this wackiness. You're like, You're
Yeah,
left
it's
like,
a movie that is very tonally inconsistent, and also not what the trailer promises or what the premise promises.
Yes.
So it's a very frustrating watch, much like how the first one was very frustrating.
Yeah. Whereas that one was just bland. This one's like, we got 2 movies to do.
Yeah, they've done too much in this film, and it's too long. At 2 hours, this is so fucking long. Like, this should be 90 minutes. As soon as the trench opens, it should be the last 30 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
And that makes this like a tight 80 minutes, 90 with credits. And that's all you need. And I've saved you $40 million. Like, but instead they're like, what if we walk along the ocean floor?
Oh, it's long.
Yeah.
It's long.
So
then they're like, Jason Statham, they're stuck in this little airlock thing, and he's like, I know, I'm gonna swim out in the ocean, avoiding the Megs, and I'm gonna open the door from the other side. The film very much goes, all characters go, that's an odd thing to do, but don't worry, scientifically, you can do that. The pressure won't kill you if you blow the air out of your lungs.
yeah, it's like he has to break his sinuses.
Yeah.
So that, and it's like he starts bleeding so
Yeah.
that the pressure won't build in
Is
him.
he literally like pushing out all his oxygen?
Yeah, so it's like he can push out all his oxygen
At 2,500 feet.
yeah, and they say
below
that
you.
he has like 90 seconds to do it before he'll die.
When they've just shown someone pressure head blowing up, and like
Yeah.
that's pretty like grounded, and then like he's gonna swim out under a thermal trench.
I know. It sort of sucks for them because I think they're like, nobody will know
Mm.
about pressure, but everyone's just been educated because of that submarine that imploded. So I was in the cinema just being like, okay, well, that submarine was like 2,000 feet deep and everyone was fucked. So him not having any protection is probably not accurate. But I would love to be proven. Imagine if
Imagine
the
if-
discourse is that this is correct.
Yeah.
Huge. I'll
Oh
give it an
my
extra
God.
star.
It is. Listen, we're nitpicking. It's. Listen. Sure. I'm not. I can't. I don't know enough.
I know.
Like they've really nailed
They're
it.
right. They didn't put it in space.
Yeah, they didn't
So-
specify that. In space, I know exactly what happens.
I know.
Underwater, I just don't know. Maybe you can do that. Maybe you can.
We would never know. You know who knows? Jimmy Cams.
Oh.
Should we get him on the phone?
Who?
James Cameron.
Oh, I thought.
Jimmy Cams. Maker
Sounds
of The Abyss.
It sounds like, I don't know, like a window salesman.
Diver of
that James Cameron watching that? Yeah, no, we did that. That works. That works.
This is him. They're like, we don't know how to get ourselves out of the situation we've written. You could do what I did back in 2001. Just blow out all of your oxygen and then just like crawl around a bit. And if something attacks you, shoot it, but like get back in. You'll want to break your sinus.
I don't know why we have Jimmy Cameron smoking big cigars, but I assume he does.
He's big cigar energy.
Oh, he does.
You don't get white hair
Him and
without a
his-
cigar.
Him and his sub, just like a big cube in his mouth. Oh, puffing it down, ruining the oxygen in the
I know.
submarine.
This is him. All right. 48 hours alone down in the deepest depths of the water. You pack my cigars and fireplace? Excellent.
I do love someone going, James, you will literally die if he does that. And then he comes back 48 hours like, I didn't die, you cunt. Never.
This is-
He's never been wrong.
You know,
He's
for a
never-
fact, somebody was like, absolutely don't do this. As soon as the doors open, he blew smoke in their face. He was like, oh, idiot says what? That's what I thought, bitch.
Oh, sorry, I just got an Apple alert. I made $4 billion
Oh, I'm
today.
sorry. Have you made $2 billion movies? I didn't fucking think so. Get me another cigar and load that fucker up for another trench walk.
I'm going down. I'm going to blow out some oxygen and light a cigar underwater. I can do that now. Prove me wrong.
I made the abyss. I made the fucking abyss. And you think you can talk up to me? I made True Lies.
They resurface. I can't remember how. Do you remember how? How do they get out of this?
They float.
Oh, they get a submarine again.
No.
But Monteith is on there.
Monteith is just like, I found a balloon. I'll ride this bad boy to the top.
Yeah, Monteith is an interesting villain because at the start he's kind of like a bit grustly and like gritty, And then in the third act, they're
He
like,
gets weaker and more emotional as the movie goes on. It's a bizarre turn.
they hire such a gruff man who killed men just on a whim to get rid of some other people, and then he grows a conscience by the end, and it's a heartwarming story, really.
It's a beautiful rags to riches to death. I don't want to say we know a lot about Pressure, but we've both played this one game called Madame Madame.
Yes.
And one of the things that happens...
We got punished because we were underwater, like, we were deep sea diving 50 meters, and we got to, like, 20 meters, and then there was gunfire above us, and we were like, let's go check that out. Let's go resurface. The game then punished us by blowing up our ears, and we died.
Yeah, and it came with the words, you, like, rose to the surface too early.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's accurate.
I assume it is. This guy's gone from, what's that, 8 kilometers deep on a balloon up to the surface.
We can find out.
I'd know.
Yeah, he's risen 8 fucking kilometers.
He pops out, he's like, I'm gonna swim to the big base.
He's like, whew, what a ride! Starts fucking swimming over.
So we got like Jason, the tech billionaire, the girl, and the little girl. And they're like...
This little girl, useless.
Oh, yeah.
She does not do... And this is not a slight of the actor, just the character and how they've written her.
Yeah.
Useless, has a death wish. Anytime there is a semblance of violence, she's like, don't worry, I'll stand between it. And Jason says, like, stop trying to fucking kill yourself. All I want to do is protect you, and you're not helping.
I swear to God, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna do it so quick. This is when the film goes, all right, we've done that gritty A24 bullshit. We remember, and in fairness to them, I remember my one thing I liked about the Meg 2 was they were like, we're gonna get a beach and have a Meg go nuts on it. And they're like, how about a fucking island, baby? No. Cool, fun island.
How about we obliterate Fun Island?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's not just sea monsters now. Land monsters too.
We've got the land dinosaurs from the pre-logger back. They're kind of like lizards. We've got a big octopus, and we've got about, I'd say, 5 Megs.
Conservatively, 40 Megs.
Loosely, 89 Megs.
There's more.
Really?
Megs? Yeah.
About 3.
It's 3 Megs.
Yeah.
But it feels like billions with a B. That's how many fucking Megs there are.
I will give the credit to this film. It sort of goes, right, we're going to very quickly establish just like some characters on the beach. Just like, hey, here's a dickhead guy. In a minute, he's going to die. We go to a little boat. They're having a wedding. She dies. It's fun. They go, that's the perfect disaster movie. You give someone the slightest, like, they're a bit of a dick, and then gruesomely murder them.
They've gotten this, like, sensibility of, like, the movie has had no cheekiness, and suddenly it's a bit cheeky.
It is a bit cheeky.
We also get, I think it was spoiled in the trailers. That's what I was sad about, but I really liked Jess's death.
I do too. Jess is kind of on the phone to the big bad. She's like, hey, listen, Jonas is still alive. Can't believe it, but don't worry. It's the bigger thing is they're like, it's a PR nightmare that the Megs have got
There's
out.
3 Megs now, and they're like, oh, okay. They're like...
Listen, we'll deny it. We'll do a note-sap apology. We're sorry that the Megs got out, but quite frankly, it's Jonas's fault, okay? Blame him.
Blame it on Jonas, and she's like, well, we need a hero. Looks like you are getting a promotion.
Yeah.
Dead.
She gets eaten by the Meg. Now, Montees, the big bad, is actually quite touched by this. He's the first character in anything.
It was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know how they met.
He's underwater. It happens. It's a close-knit, tight community.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Just underwater, anything can happen. What happens underwater stays underwater.
Literally. It's a horrible, hostile workplace, but, it happens. Now, yeah, he's genuinely broken. He calls the big bad boss. He's like, my girlfriend just died. He's like, if you don't fucking kill Jonas, I swear to God, I'll kill you myself.
Yeah.
So Monty's just like, ugh. I'm gonna go kill Jonas, but I'm not happy about it.
He's like, Jess is dead, and she's like, kill Jonas. And then goes, are you crying?
Yeah.
Like, crazy to neg him.
Yeah.
Like, cool, but like, wild. Wild that that actor made the decision to be in tears.
Yeah.
And that they were like, let's get the villain to neg him. Like, because it immediately made him pathetic, and it made her so rude.
Because it's so rude, but then also, like, our heroes, like, 3 of them die, and they're like, c'est la vie, huh?
They don't shed a tear for Lance.
Okay, here's Fun Island. I've broken it down to, like, what the 3 things are. We've got DJ and Regis. She's the other woman in the group.
Oh, the one that keeps on being like,
Yeah.
I was in the first movie.
Yeah, but
you were not in the first movie.
Don't look it up, but I was there. Remember those 4 years we had memories? Their main mission is to find a cell phone. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. They all get, it's too big a cast.
Yeah.
This is them doing their Fast and Furious thing. This is where I think it is, where they're just like, oh, we should keep some people alive, blah, 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 blah. Kill off everybody but Jason Statham.
Yeah.
This is like fodder. All these people should just be getting murdered by like different creatures.
Yeah.
It's what you pay to see. It's what you want to see. I'm not that interested in seeing like goannas eat the villain. Kill off some of these fuckers. Because nothing they do matters or is interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why it keeps getting dull.
Yeah. Because this plot line is just bland. Like, we're just sort of like, there's a bit of comedy relief, but really it's not much.
Once everybody on like the island is killed, what the main characters are doing is very disinteresting.
Oh, of course.
There's a great shot that is from the shark mouth POV of everyone getting swallowed and eaten. I thought that was cool.
I thought that was fun too.
Cool, reminded me of Nope.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Jordan Peele, like, damn, they just stole my thing. They ganked it. My sheets.
I can't wait to tell everybody Nope ripped off the Meg to the trench. I think that's what's ruining this is the Meg to the trench makes it seem like a sentence rather than a subtitle.
Meg to the trench.
Meg to the trench.
Oh.
What do you mean? The Meg went to the trench? No, the Meg to the trench.
Speaking of odd titles, we also, because we were at the cinema, we was like looking at what else was on. Gran Turismo's on. I feel like it's become a bit of a meme. They changed the name, so now it's Gran Turismo, based on a true story. I think that was like a cruel joke that people were joking because it kept playing in the ads. It's odd the filmmakers have gone, let's try and jump on this trend. I can't believe that will now be the title forever.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been like... The only other thing I could think of is that there's another Gran Turismo.
I mean, there's a game, but like I don't know whether...
But I mean, I think that's fine. But I don't know if they've just been like... It's like when The Butler was coming out, and then they had to change it to Lee Daniels The Butler, because a movie called The Butler already existed.
Damn.
So I don't know if they're like, there's already a Gran Turismo somewhere in this oeuvre. Make the subtitle based on a true story.
Okay.
I think it would have been hilarious to call it David Harbour's Gran Turismo.
Yeah, not even the director, just an actor in it. Orlando Bloom's? Question mark? Gran Turismo.
Exclamation mark?
We're passionate about it. We're not sure about it, though. We also get the New Zealand guy and the big tech guy. They're trying to find a helicopter.
Yeah, it's thrilling.
Yeah.
I think this is the most boring one. It's like they play with shovels, they're stabbing things, they're looking for a helicopter, they're doing some... What do you think of the actual look of this movie?
Listen, I mean, like, the CGI is, like, a bit odd. I don't really mind now. If CGI looks a bit crap, I just think, I hope someone wasn't overworked for it. You know?
So
now
true,
it's changed. Now I don't really care. Who gives a shit? I know it ain't real.
Yeah.
I know the Meg 2 ain't real. Maybe it is, but I don't know. I don't know enough about the science.
This is, like, fine. Like, it's good, passable CGI that I wouldn't complain about how the visuals of this movie looked in comparison to, say, something like The Flash.
Yeah.
But it's definitely does not feel like $130 million has been spent.
No, but then some of the sets are quite interesting. I thought some of the interiors of the ship were done quite, like the underground. When they're in a building, it looks good.
I think, but it's so just like how the movie flows is it's like they're on a big boat at the beginning, they go underwater, they walk through just a green screen, then they get to some cool fun ship interiors, and then they float to the top, and then they're on like an island that I guaranteed paid for them to use for a big tax write-off. So it's like I'm just like, where's this
They
money?
saved $1 million from the first one, so you know, good on them.
Under budget, wow, huge.
Rainn Wilson stepped out. They're like, God, that was $1 million.
Imagine if that's what he commanded.
Yeah.
He was like, I want $1 million.
I think he could get $1 million. Honestly, the Meg came to me, and I was like, you know what? Fuck off. You can give me $1 million.
If he asked for like, I mean, maybe in residuals. Surely he's not getting $1 million up front.
He might get $1 million up front. Maybe? I don't know. Jason Statham's getting like 5, right?
Yeah, he'd be getting a decent paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, Rainn Wilson not so. I would love for them to reveal Rainn Wilson's still alive.
Oh, that
Do you
would be
reckon if he
huge.
came back with
He
a
was a
robotic
fun
arm?
character. Oh, so much better. I'd take it. I'd
I
be happy
know.
with it.
Oh, a shotgun built into his
Oh,
arm.
clever.
Huge.
Clever.
That'd be good.
We also get, probably the best. I mean, I don't know if it's the best, but Jason Statham is on a jet ski taking down Megs. Fun.
His spears are bombs.
Yes.
Like, the jet ski looks cool. Like, some of these shots are fun. There's a part that looks like it's like a mosaic painting of like him like over like a surf and spearing it with his thing,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
shark like coming up, and I was like, what the fuck why does it look so biblical?
Yeah, it felt a bit like that, didn't it?
Looks like he had like a lightning bolt.
Oh, it was
like,
very Zeus, and they're like,
Yeah.
we'll cut back to Joan. We'll cut back to someone else, huh?
It's so funny because as soon as like everybody is saved, the comedy just like kicks back in of just like not actual funny comedy, but of their banter just being like,
We've had a day, huh?
well, it's just crazy that just the major investor is like, I've taught this shark to command to my little what would be a
Little
remote
sonar button.
It's just like a remote
TV
control for a
remote.
car.
Yeah.
It's just like
He's just
beep, beep.
pressing his keys.
He's just like, this one unlocks the shark and this one locks the shark, and that one's just to the boot if you
Yeah.
don't want to press the other two buttons.
How indulgent are the boot buttons? I just think.
How pointless.
Yeah, I think.
What are they afraid of?
You ever felt, I know it's weird, it's annoying me. I mean, now we're going on a tangent. I don't like them because when you want to go slam the boot, because I'm a poor man, I can't have to close my own boots.
Oh, I hate the ones that
and
are
it,
like,
it was lock. You go, what are
Yeah.
you doing? I need a slow
I
close.
can fucking close this myself, thank you very much. And I'm like, oh, I just want to shut you like a normal
I feel like I
human
break
being.
the boot every
Yeah, you
time.
do.
I go, oh, it goes off his gears. It freaks out.
It does. Might as well fucking fall off.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know why there is a boot button, because it's like, are you afraid that if you just unlock the entire car, somebody's just gonna hop into it?
Yeah.
Like, if I unlock the boot, they're not gonna climb into the boot.
Oh, it's not a door. You wouldn't. That'd be rude.
Imagine unlocking your car with like the beep beep, and everyone just runs to hop into it.
If only I had just a boot button.
Where's that boot button at? Man, life's really changed. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you might miss it.
That's what Ferris Bueller was talking about. Man, boots have gotten pretty
Oh my
high
god.
tech, huh?
If there was just like a PSA hosted by Ferris Bueller explaining the boot button, I'd get it.
I get it.
But as that does not exist, anti-boot button. Let us know your thoughts on the boot button.
Ask wwtpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us if you have to open your boot like a poor person, or have you got your fancy button.
You got a boot button? Huh? If you've got a boot button, this podcast isn't for you.
Oh no, 100%.
You can probably afford better podcasts.
Yeah, pay to listen. This is a freebie, okay? This is going in a car. You're listening to this in a car. I can tell you right now, you haven't got a boot button. Anyway, the sharks get destroyed. The island's cleared. They
are just sitting on a beach.
They're just sitting on a beach.
They find leftover rum,
Yeah.
some unshattered glasses.
Yeah, and just pour themselves a glass. I do like the tone is like, well, we did a pretty fucking good job. There's dead everywhere.
So much death. You lost so many fucking people
Yeah.
due to your ignorance.
Yeah.
Like, they're just being like, that's a tomorrow issue. Today we
drink.
Today we drink. I was like, what's your takeaway?
Jason's pouring a 14-year-old a full glass of whiskey. Like, you earned it, kid. You disobeyed my rules, but that was actually the lesson all along.
It's just funny too because DJ is just surrounded by women.
There's this okay. I feel like the Meg 1 ended like this. The blocking's odd. There's like 5 women in a semicircle facing him.
Facing the camera.
Facing the
Like,
camera.
Yeah.
DJ's also sitting them, but also looking the same way. And he's regaling a story, and they're just
That
listening.
just happened.
And
He's explaining what just happened
and
to
they're just
them.
listening to the back of his head, and they're all laughing. And he's like, "All right, I've told my story. I'm gonna leave now. I will not be fucking any of you," which is implied. I'm gonna go chat to my friends. That's just happened to this.
He then shuffles over a meter to the other group where the main people are having a drink, leaving the group of women to discuss amongst themselves
I
what's
guess
just occurred.
that, or also they just mourn their losses because they've definitely lost people.
Yeah.
So many were
You
dead.
wouldn't know someone that didn't die today.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so many people were killed.
Yeah.
But it was weird that their final shot is the main cast in a little circle chatting, and like 5 women in a separate circle also chatting. which would imply they left the beach for safety and then were like, should we go back and chill on the beach? And then we're like, oh, they're having a moment? We'll sit over here?
In earshot, but, you know, this might sound nitpicky, but again, why not, you know? Because, again, it just, and then just the drone, like, pans out. And just like, pretty good. We did pretty well. Destruction laid everywhere. 5 Meg carcasses everywhere. The octopus is there somehow.
So many. And I also noticed Peter didn't say shit. So they killed some megalodons in real life, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh, we didn't say it. Montes dies. But, you know.
Who's that?
The villain.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, his death's meh.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he keeps fighting. His boss is dead, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get goons. They're very loyal, a goon. You have to get a loyal goon. Otherwise, they even when you've died, the goons are like, well, I've got nothing else to go, really.
Like, I've never met a loyal goon.
Yeah.
Every goon I've met, disloyal.
So disloyal.
Hired.
Yeah. They're hired goons, and quite frankly,
goons.
the second the money dries up, they're out of there. Unprofessional, really.
So unprofessional.
Ugh.
Oscar, who would watch The Meg 2 The Trench?
That's a toughie one. That's such a tough one. I mean, who's loving the Meg, really? Who's loving the first Meg? I guess a lot of people. And then who's going to watch this? It's funny that I don't think anyone's going to watch this until this gets on streaming, right?
Yeah, this is a plain movie.
Oh,
everything to me is a plain movie nowadays.
Yeah. If it's not something that makes me sad, it's a plain movie.
No.
Oh.
It's weird when you like sort of look at the reviews for the first Meg and people are just like, it's like an 80s cheese fest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have not seen a movie from the 80s then.
No.
Because they're way more high energy because everyone was on coke. And they were shorter and didn't cost as much.
It would make such a... That middle in the Meg for the first one is a slog. This one, I guess, is like a 2-parter where they kind of start with like, hey, we're going to do some Meg shit. And then like, let's have some gritty action.
They probably should have just pulled a Fast X or a Across the Spider-Verse and 2-parted this.
You wanted a full movie of them walking? That you know what? It'd be hilarious if they do like a really indie darling for like 5 mil of them just walking across the trench. It's not even CGI. They've just done like you have to imagine there's water there, kind of like a play, you know, Dogville-esque.
It's just
and then the second one they're like, all right, fuck it, here's the Meg.
Yeah, that'd be huge. Imagine if this movie ended on a cliffhanger. They were like, next summer, come back. We haven't filmed it yet, though, and now there's a strike.
I'm so keen for the next Fast and Furious. I'm convinced Vin Diesel's going to cross the picket lines like, I'm going to write it myself and direct it myself.
Oh, I don't... What do you mean? I guarantee you he has. He's already, like, in an office just being like, what do you mean there's a strike?
I simply will not be listening. Okay. Vin Diesel, I fucking fly. I can fly. Yeah, no, the Meg 2, the trench. Oh man, it
feels like a sentence. Like the Meg is going to the trench. It's so weird.
I guess if you're a linguist, you might like this one for the title alone.
If you like a misplaced colon,
yeah,
or too many these.
I don't know. I'm over the moon that there was more than 2 Megs. But there's a lot of villains in this. I guess if you really hate the ocean and just want to be justified, this is a great movie, you know?
It's a weird vibe in comparison to what the first one is, which is a bit more fun and a summer blockbuster than this one. But the other one's so just like heightened blues and everything's shot during the day. And this one's just so fucking murky.
Yeah, it's
so
underwater.
fucking murky.
Yeah.
I couldn't see shit. When you put people into like a scuba suit or something, do anything to differentiate them. I couldn't tell you who was dying.
No.
Like, and again, it's so murky. I don't care if it's really murky in the trench. Just tell me, pretend it's not murky so I can see your movie. Like, I'm sick of the murk.
But that's the trench. That's the charm of the trench, baby.
It's not. You should call it Meg 2 the
Was
murk.
this a trench? It just seemed like a low part.
Well,
I thought a trench was 2 things on the side.
That's what I'm going to throw it out there. What the fuck is a trench? I don't understand what an underwater trench is.
No, I'm going off Finding Nemo, and they had that big trench. You know,
was that a trench?
That's a trench. You know, that's what I think a trench.
So
is.
a trench is just a cliff in the water.
A cliff with like 2 cliffs very close to each other.
Yeah.
So it's like a ravine almost.
But is the blowing up of the trench what freed everything?
Oh yes, it was.
It looked like they were already there.
They were in a trench actually for that bit. For that little bit, they were in a trench. There was very little trench, but they were for 2 minutes. They were in a trench. It almost got blown up, and then they escaped the trench.
What is when they walk along the floor? Are they walking along the trench?
No. That's not a trench.
Right.
That is just the bottom of the ocean. There is no. I'm sure there's a scientific name. Again, we are not looking up things.
No,
we're not nerds. Okay, I don't want to know.
I was hoping this movie would be for me. I didn't like it. I would probably say it maybe is better than the first one.
That's the thing, though. I feel like I had more fun doing it. I think the first one just is so bogged down, and it's like, do you care about these characters? This one has the balls.
Has more
like,
death and destruction.
This one's like, here's some death. You don't really care about the characters. Who gives a shit? Here's some action.
Yeah. So, who's it for? I guess if you think trenches have been underrepresented in media.
Oh, very
There's a lot
true.
of trench in this.
Oh, there's not a lot of trench in this. We've established there wasn't that much
yeah,
trench.
but in comparison to, say,
Meg 1.
Gravity.
Oh, yeah, true.
There's more trench.
That's so true, actually.
Forrest Gump, more trench in this.
That is very true. I feel like Interstellar actually did have a trench. I feel like that's Snow Island. That's
Oh, it's that actually Interstellar trench heavy.
It is trench heavy.
Very trench
That's
heavy.
what bogs down the film. It's too much trench.
I
This
hate
one
the
hits-
scene in the trench in Interstellar. I'll throw that out there. I don't like that scene with the trench.
Where Matt Damon almost falls down the trench. You talking about that trench?
Is that what you think a trench is?
What trench are you?
I like that scene. It's not murky.
What trench are you talking about in the Interstellar?
I think he falls into it in space and goes back in time.
Oh, let's watch Treasure Planet. They've got a trench, I'm pretty sure. You know what? They
Trencher
have
Planet?
Oh, now that's a fucking movie, okay?
Yeah, there you go. There
God
you go.
damn.
Ugh, what fucking waffle. I don't know. I don't know who this is
I
for.
don't get it, because I'm kind of like, I like it more than the first, but I'm not going to recommend it.
No, I would never
don't know.
recommend. I think it's like if you are somebody that does enjoy Jason Statham's work, this is like for you.
You know what?
It's
Sorry,
on-
no.
yeah.
We've got it. There were 2 people in our cinema as well, alone, sitting at a 10 a.m.
They
session.
could be further apart in the cinema. One
Yeah.
of them in our seats.
That was the honest thing. We were like, oh, we'll move, but I don't know why. Anyway, if we were trying to figure out what the hell they were doing there. I believe they were either on a double date or they were waiting for their car to be repaired. If you need to kill 2 hours precisely, this is for you.
It's definitely a car repair, or
Definitely
it was
a car repair.
It was definitely a car repair.
Meg the Trench car repair.
Oh, absolutely. It's either that or like blind date. It was like, meet me out the front of the trench with a red balloon, and I've got 2 tickets ready to go. And they got there, realized they weren't attracted to one another, but she wanted the extra ticket.
Yeah.
And they sat as far apart as possible.
Yeah.
And on the way out, they both shrugged to each other and said, it was all right.
It was alright.
Yeah.
It was for me, though.
Yeah.
Because
And then
for-
she popped the balloon with a cigarette.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Well, James Cameron was in the cinema. Big Cuban cigar. Pops it and shits on the man.
He honestly,
And he was right to do it.
he was right to do it. He exhaled all of his smoke and he said, that's exactly what happened. He looked back at
That
us.
happened to me.
Yeah.
That happened
All
to
through
me.
the fucking movie, he kept on looking at me and you and being like, "You guys watching? That's exactly what fucking happened down there. Exactly what happened."
We were kind of making notes. I don't know how much money it's going to make. And James Cameron literally went up to us, pissed on us, and said, that's going to make $3 billion. And he's right.
He's
Fuck.
right. Then you know what he did? He got up, he fucking left, and he was just like, "I made The Abyss. I filmed that movie. I directed it."
And everyone kind of was like, you did. And they gave him money. It was very tasteful. It was nice. It was nice.
Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
Carl, we mentioned it in this podcast. You know what? We're coming for you. Okay, we're gonna murder you. Who's gonna work it out, huh? We're gonna kill Poirot with our words, okay? We're gonna throw him in a trench of whatnots. We're gonna attack Kevin Branagh's Murder on the Orient Express. And my God, I'm so keen to talk about Death on the Nile. But we've got to get through the first one. We've got to establish the character. We've got to take it down a peg.
We do. The Kenneth Branagh's being put on trial. We didn't do a good enough job with Artemis Fowl. We're putting him on check now. He deserves
He
it.
does deserve it.
All right, we shall see you then.
Thank you for listening.
As Poirot would say, au revoir.